Hello and welcome to Minimise Debt, Maximise Cash with Top Service, where each episode we will give you tips on how to maximise your cash and minimise your debt in the construction industry. My name's Emma Reilly, Top Service CEO, Fellow of the Chartered Institute of Credit Management and current CICM Council Advisory Member representing trade credit. We're coming up to a year since we launched Minimise Debt, Maximise Cash, and we've had some great feedback. But as always, we would like more. Please get in touch by searching Emma Reilly Top Service on LinkedIn. Tell me what you like, what particular piece of advice that has been useful to your business, and what you'd like to hear more of. We'll read out the best bits of feedback on the show. Welcome to CICM Month on Minimise Debt, Maximise Cash. For the month of June, we are dedicating our podcast episodes to our relationship with the CICM. That's the Chartered Institute of Credit Management to those not quite in the know. We have found the CICM to be a valued partner of Top Service. In fact, most of our podcast episodes and advice you've heard from us in 2026 comes from our partnership with the CICM. In this episode, I have a conversation with Rachel Brown from Saint-Gobain about what being part of the CICM means to us as credit professionals.
Are you a credit manager and thinking of ways to elevate your profile? I'm Emma, CEO at Top Service, and I'm sure if you've listened to our podcasts or follow our social media, you will have heard me talking a lot about the Chartered Institute of Credit Management. I've got Laura from Saint-Gobain here with me today. We're both fellows of the CICM and also both on the Advisory Council representing trade credit. And we just wanted to sit down and just have a chat about what the CICM does for us. So thanks very much for joining me today, Laura.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So I guess when I was into sort of the management side of my career is when I really got to understand what the CICM do. I didn't use it to its full advantage. In all honesty, it was a bit more about having the sort of credentials of the letters.
Professional body, yeah. I actually got my interview at Saint-Gobain because I'd got my level 3 qualification on there. So that's what opened the door for me for like the career that I've had. So yeah, I think that's kind of, the benefit that I've had is that it's helped me professionally be able to progress just from having that recognition, that professional body behind you. When I fell into credit control and I was working at the refrigeration company, my manager there, she was actually doing her studies, her level 3, and I was looking at doing my AAT, and she said, well, actually the CICM, it's more aligned to your role and what you're doing. So that's my kind of first starting with the CICM was through my study.
Yeah. When I announced that I'd been made CEO at Top Service, I remember being sat, looked at me as an email popped up from Sue Chappell from the CICM, and she was inviting me down there to do a interview with her.
Oh, nice.
About my role and how I got to it and what have you. And again, being a female in the industry as well, and progressing through the industry as a young female. And maybe I was so nervous about like this whole interview process, but it was really, really good. And actually, following on from that, then Sue invited me to be a judge for the British Credit Awards, which is run by the CICM. And all those things have helped to increase my confidence. Because again, I think as a young female in the industry, you've heard all these names that have been at the CICM for ages, and you sort of think, oh gosh, suddenly I'm in the same room as them. But actually, you're on the same level as them. Nobody's better than anybody else. Everybody's got different experiences. I think that's one of the things that stands out to me with the CICM is actually just how supportive people within the credit management industry are. And there's lots of opportunities via branch events and the Credit Fest events that have been happening for the last couple of years for you to actually meet and learn from and talk through situations with other people in the industry. I think that's what really stands out to me about them. I don't know about you.
I would agree the same as well. I think the community, it's very much like everyone wanting to help each other, especially being like a young female as well. I found that I've had people that have reached out, to say, I'm doing a good job, or, actually for the Advisory Council recommended me to put myself forward for it 2 years ago. I think it's just a really supportive kind of community to be a part of.
Yeah, it really is. I think something that stood out to me, particularly since being on the advisory council, I think, is walking into a room of people that you've seen at different events that are obviously have been in the industry for a long time, and we've sort of, what I've looked up to, you know, throughout my credit management career, and they've been in the same room as them and thinking, oh gosh, you know, they're so cool, isn't it? But actually, everybody's so willing to help, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they talk anything through with you and stuff. And I know you've done the qualification, haven't you, as well? So how have you found that?
Yeah,
Has helped you?
It's been really good. So I've done my level 3, so that's when I first started. So was working in credit control at a refrigeration company, and wanted to do something alongside what I was doing work-wise. So started with my level 3, and I think it just helped to kind of build on my knowledge and my confidence, and having those conversations with customers over the phone. Knowing the things that you could say and having those in your toolkit as say. And then going on to do my level 5, that was when I was in my credit manager position, and I think it just helped me to become more well-rounded. It was things about like strategy and communication and all that kind of, that just additional on top of, again, that just helped me build my confidence, but also helped me to raise my profile. And actually, from having the level 5 qualification, they've looked to that, and I've been able to get my finance SSC director role based on my level 5. They've kind of said traditionally it's like ACCA or CIMA held roles, but actually the level 5 qualification that I've got with the CICM, they've kind of put that as an equivalent, really. So
that's fantastic, isn't it? And I think there's a really interesting point as well, because actually now neither of us are actual credit managers.
Yeah, no.
So I think it's really important to highlight that actually have always been in the supplier to the credit management industry, so credit information and debt recovery. You were credit managers in a credit management role, but actually now leading an entire service centre. That we're still benefiting.
Yeah, the webinars that they have, especially, I think just that kind of like linking to what's happening within the economy, and it just helps me to kind of keep my finger on the pulse with kind of like what's happening within the credit community.
Yeah. I think if I had any advice for anybody who was thinking about joining the CICM, or is currently a member but perhaps not taking full advantage of what's been offered, is to put yourself out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I feel like we've been on sort of the same sort of journey, I guess, with our careers and along with the CICM, is actually if you've got to take advantage of what's being offered, so you've got to make the effort to go to networking events and branch events, and we've both gone forward for the advisory council, which has been a really enjoyable experience. But I think you've got to do that.
Yeah,
you can't expect everything to come to you. You've got to go out there and get it, and the CICM is a great
I would agree
way of doing that.
Yeah, I would. I think that's the thing, isn't it? It can help you to open the doors, but you've got to be the one that's there driving it. So I would agree the same. And
Saint-Gobain obviously CICMQ accredited, aren't they? So how was that sort of benefited?
I think for us, when we started the process, so we've just gone through our reaccreditation 18 months ago, come up to 2 years actually. And we didn't have a credit policy, and it was kind of just looking at all those best practice, right? Okay, actually this is the kind of thing that you need to be doing. We were good in some areas, but then we had other areas where we'd identified gaps. So it was just a real kind of laid everything out for us to look at. Okay, right, these are the things that we need to work on then, and we got the whole team involved as well. So it wasn't very much like top down driven. It was right, okay, everybody together, this is what we're going to do to drive the department forward. So I think for obviously going through it, but it's also helped us to raise our profile of the credit department within our company as well. They can see us and actually going out and winning awards as well now too. It's just really helped to put credit on the map, and that kind of like that highlight the importance of the credit department as a whole.
And of course we've got the BCAs coming up, haven't we, in a couple of weeks, so that's exciting. And I know Saint-Gobain are up for some.
We've got so Rosie's up for Credit Professional of the Year. We've got Emma up for Team Player, and then we've entered the shared service one as well, so keeping our fingers crossed for that one too. So top service, we've got Supplier of the Year and Debt Collection Agency of the Year. So hopefully we can do some celebrating on the night. Yes, definitely.
Thanks for sitting down and talking to me about it. I think it's important just to make sure that people are aware that actually no matter what area of credit management you're in, the CICM is a great place to support you, and I'm grateful for not just the the CICM, but also the people within it who have supported me with my career and stuff. So,
Yeah, me too.
and also the people at the networking events who have sort of cheered me on and given me confidence actually throughout all the years that I've been in credit management. So, if you are considering it, do it.
Definitely.
Thanks, Laura.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. If there are any other questions, please do contact us on LinkedIn. Get in touch by searching Emma Reilly Top Service on LinkedIn. Tell me what you like, what particular piece of advice that has been useful to your business, and what do you like to hear more of. If we don't see you online, we will see you in the next episode where we will help you to maximise your cash and minimise your debt. Bye bye from Top Service.